Well, welcome back to my channel. And I know a makeup tutorial. What? Mary, you doing a makeup tutorial? Yes. I thought I would come up here on your channel, on your TV, and do an old style makeup tutorial with you, and also let you see what makeup I've been using now and how my makeup routine has changed over the years. If you want to see what I do now, nothing much has changed in terms of the colors and the looks that I do, but a lot has changed in what I use. So if you're interested in finding out what I use for my makeup, just keep watching. All right, so let's get this makeup tutorial, chit chat, whatever it's going to be. Let's get this underway. So I've already done my eyebrows off camera because lately they've been giving me problems. Call it aging, call it, I don't know, but they've changed and they don't come out exactly the same every time. I do them off camera because I would be here forever. All right, so I'm gonna go in with some e.l.f. primer. This is the Pore-Less face primer, not my favorite, but I was balling on a budget and wanted to try something new. A little goes a long way. It's very silicone-y, so you don't need a lot. And I'm literally just going to put it in the area where I have my pores show. Put it mainly here where my pores tend to show, right in here. And then whatever's left, I'm just spreading it around to the rest of my face. You do not need a lot of this particular primer. A lot has changed since you've seen me do my makeup. I'm using Seint makeup. This is by Seint Beauty, and it is a cream-based makeup for mature skin. It's a great makeup for women of color, and everything in this palette is gonna go on my face. Not all the colors. I'll explain as I'm doing it, but this palette, as you can see, is 3 layers and it houses all of my makeup. So concealer, foundation, bronzer, highlight, all of that is in this palette right here. So these colors right here are the colors that make up my skin tone. So we have my highlight shades, my main shades, my contour, my bronzer, and this is like the highlight that goes up here. And when I say highlight shade, I mean this would be like my concealer shade right here. And I will explain to you what I'm doing because it's gonna look crazy when I start putting it on my face. But this is the system. These are my lip and cheeks, and you can mix and match colors and custom blend your own lip colors. So I have my pinks and my nudes, and pay no attention. Yes, they look messy because I do be using it. I just don't use it every day. But all of these colors are customizable and blendable. Cream-based makeup. And for mature skin, because can we talk about it? Who's turning 50 this year? I can't believe it. So yeah, our skin is not the same as it used to be. A lot has changed. And, you know, I'm excited about some of the changes, and some of the changes I'm like, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my, what you all would call concealer shades. I'm going into my highlight shades, and I just use my brush, and these brushes are by Seint as well, and it goes with the system. So you can't just use any makeup brush with this makeup. You have to use the brushes that are specifically made for this makeup. But I just tap in a little bit of here and a little bit of here, and a little bit goes a long way, you guys. So if I'm not looking at you, I'm looking in my mirror, and yeah. So what I do is I just gently tap the inner corner. These are richly pigmented cream-based makeup, so you don't need a lot in order to do your whole face. That's what I love about this makeup. Do you see how pigmented that is? And then we're just gonna take it right here. So each little tin fills your palette. Now, when you start out, you're not going to start out with that big palette that I showed you. You're going to start out in a smaller size palette. And I will make sure to link my Seint Beauty Advisor in the comment section below. Her name is Samantha, and she's amazing, and she will get you started on your own custom palette. And so it is truly a new system for me. I've been using this makeup for about, I would say about 2, maybe almost 3 years now, and it has never failed me. I've worn this in the dead of summer. I've worn this in the cold of winter, as cold as it gets here in California. I have worn this on what little rainy days that we've had. I've worn this while working out, and I gotta tell you, the staying power of this makeup is incredible. It's all natural ingredients. There is beeswax in it, so it's not vegan. For those of you who like vegan options, it's not vegan. It does have beeswax. And yes, you do have to keep them in a cool, dry place. However, because of the beeswax, so it can melt. However, I've not had a problem with my tins melting on me or anything like that. And because of the way that these cream makeups are made, these colors are made, literally, you can't just go in a store and, figure out your color system. That's where Samantha comes in. She will personally color match you. So I found Samantha on social media, and I stalked her for a very long time, watching her put all these dots, as you see me doing, on her face and blending her makeup out into a seamless foundation that, like, you couldn't really tell it was skin-like. And for me, what drew me into this makeup is the fact that I have seborrheic dermatitis. So because of my skin condition, I can tend to lose pigment, as I'm sure you all have seen. So I'm not just one color all over my face. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. And I could never find a foundation that could even me out and take care of my many different colors until I found Seint Beauty, until I found Samantha's page. And so I wasn't sold right away 100%. Because I was like, yeah, right, that's probably not going to work for me. I have too many issues. And one day I just decided to take a chance and text her match on one of her lives. And she hit me back up, asked me what my skin issues were. I explained to her, and I had very little confidence that she was going to be able to do anything for me. Now, I know it doesn't seem like I'm putting that much on, but I'm telling you, I'm putting plenty. Okay, plenty. I know that does not look like a lot, but it is a lot, okay? And this is the brush that I'm using. For me, I use the buff brush because I want a fuller coverage, but there are many different brushes. Many different brushes do different things and gives you different coverage. So if you don't want full coverage, you don't have to do full coverage. I like full coverage because, like I said, I have a ton of issues that I'm addressing all at once. And this makeup really does help even me out. So I put on my highlight shades, okay? And now I'm putting on what we call our main shade. And I'm putting each shade in a specific place. So you'll see I did not take the highlight shade up under here. And the reason why is because I am a woman of a certain age, and that whole triangle thing that we used to do, that doesn't work anymore. That settles into your fine lines and creases. And at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, a few hours after you put on your makeup, it's not cute. And so I am just literally dotting on my colors where I want them to be. And so it's kind of like painting with numbers, but for your face. And I put it in specific areas that I want it to be. And then I'm going to blend it all together. And you're going to see how beautiful and how seamless this makeup blends, and I have been loving it. So when I do my makeup, I can do my makeup with such confidence, knowing that every time I do my makeup, I'm going to get the same look. I'm going to get the same look every time. So up under here for me is a problem area where the discoloration and the uneven skin tone, it really bothers me. So I like to really get up under there. Now, does it take away all of my flaws? No. And I don't think that makeup should do that unless you absolutely want it to. I prefer a more natural coverage. And so I don't seek to cover every single thing. I just want to mainly even out what is uneven to my eye and give me a more even complexion. So for me, it is not a big deal if everything doesn't get covered and some of my light areas show through. I'm okay with that. But this makeup has not failed me. It lasts a very long time. A very long time. Is there an investment up front? Sure. Sure, it's a little bit of an investment up front, but it's no different than what you would get at Sephora or Ulta or any other cosmetic store or any other cosmetic brand. It just depends on what your preferences are and what you are trying to achieve with your makeup. Okay, so now we've got our highlight color. We have our main color in the areas that we want them. I usually go a little bit lighter on my cheeks because I try to kind of follow the pattern that my skin is already doing. In order for me to have a skin-like appearance, I kind of stay with how my face looks without makeup. So I go a little bit lighter in here, but once I blend everything out, it is really going to give me a beautiful finish. So I'm taking the other end of my brush, and something that I love about these brushes is that they're all dual ended. So you get two brushes for the price of one. This is the smudge brush, and so I use this end to apply my highlight colors. You can use these for eyeshadow too. I have two of these, so you'll see me using this brush again, a different one, for my eyeshadow, but you flip it around, and now I'm going to come in with my contour shades. So it's the same principle that you have seen on TikTok, that you have seen on YouTube, where the makeup trends are you apply your foundation, then you come in with a lighter concealer, then you come in with your contour. This system takes all of that and reduces it into one layer. So I'm not putting first a layer of foundation and then coming back and putting a layer of concealer and then coming back and putting in my contour. I am doing all of that in one layer. You've only seen me put two different color combinations on my skin, right? But I've used all of these colors. I've used this one, this one, this one, this one, and now I'm about to use this one. This is a darker contour color. I don't use this in the fall and winter months because it's super dark. I use this at summertime when I get a tan. And that's what I love about this system, is that whether I have a summer tan or whether I have my winter color, I am good to go. I can bounce between the different shades. I can be a mad scientist and mix and match all the colors that I want. And I'm going to get the same seamless look every single time. And it is going to match my skin tone. That's what I love about this makeup. That's what interested me in the first place. So I'm just putting on my contour. This takes underpainting, all of that, all of the different techniques that we have seen throughout the years. This system combines all of that into one. You can even take it and go a little bit on the bridge of your nose to contour your nose, which I love doing. And the older I'm getting, I'm noticing the tip of my nose is growing, which that's a thing, you guys. That's a part of aging. And so I just put some contour there to slim that down a little bit. And whatever's left on my brush, as you can see, I'm just going to go up under my lip and put a little bit of lip liner. And you can use this, you'll see me use this color again for my lip liner when we get there. So now I have my base. This is my base. This, when I blend it out, you will see this is going to be my whole foundation, highlight, contour in one layer, you guys, one layer. So if I wasn't doing this tutorial, I'd probably be close to done right now. We're at 18 minutes. I can do my makeup in 10 minutes. I've done my makeup in 5 minutes using this system because it's just that easy. Now I'm going to pick a blush color, and I just got these right here, new colors in. I believe they're temporary, but I'm gonna play with this one right here. This one, this is Huckleberry. And I'm gonna do a nice little berry situation. And so I'm just gonna place that right here above my contour. And I'm gonna top it with a little bit of this hot pink one right here. Just a little bit. Just for a pop of color. And the rest I like to put on my lips because it's gonna go there anyway. And that's why it's called a lip and cheek, because whatever you put on your cheek, you can also use on your lips. And that way you're not wasting your product. I can go back and add some more later. Now it's time to blend. So the way that this works is you blend from light to dark. And so I usually start down here. And then I get my jaw area. And notice that I'm staying right up under my contour. I have not touched my contour yet. I save that for last. And look how nicely that's blending out. So I'm getting that natural highlight where the highlight is supposed to go. It's not muddy. It looks like me, but better. And you guys forgive my lighting because I'm using overhead lighting. I'm using a little bit of natural light and the sun just shifted. So I'm sorry, you guys. And then I like to just come up here in that center. Again, I'm not touching my contour area yet, not just yet. The bridge of my nose. And then I flip the brush around to the smaller side so I can get under my eye. And literally what I do is just kind of take the edge of the brush right here and just gently bring it out. And so this eliminates the need for that triangle that I used to do. And I loved it for the time that I had it, but I'm not 30 anymore. I'm not in my 30s anymore. And I just need a little bit of something, something. I don't need the big triangle. Do you see how nice that looks? And the thing about this makeup is that I can customize it to the intensity that I want it to be. So once I've done the inner corner, I can really come in here now and blend out that contour on the bridge of my nose. And we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. And notice that I am tapping I'm not swiping, I'm tapping to blend. So I just tap, 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 tap until everything is nicely blended. How am I looking? You already, don't act like you don't see that. I have a nice healthy glow to my skin. The splotchiness from the discoloration is no longer. You can still see a little bit of it here, but I don't mind that. Again, I'm not trying to cover up my flaws completely. I'm just trying to bring a little bit of cohesiveness to my skin tone. So if it's not perfect, I don't mind that. Now, what do I do with the contour? I'm going to show you. And the more you tap out and blend, the more natural it looks. So remember how back in the day we would say blend for your life? It's no different. I'm sorry, you guys. I have to work on my lighting. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay. So now I'm going to switch brushes and I'm going to go to my contour brush and I'm going to use this side. Now, do you see how the edge of the brush is there? If I wanted to, I could dip straight into my contour shade with the edge of this brush and just blend it out. But what I like to do is just blend it with the edge and I'm going upward. And now I'm going to use the flat side. I'm going to come over here where I had my main shade and I'm going to blend into my hairline. So this is going to mimic the natural contour of my face if I were standing in the sun, the areas where that would be shaded versus the areas where the sun would hit. And I like a natural contour. If I were doing an evening look, I would probably go in with the darker contour shade so that it would be more pronounced. But for daytime, this is plenty good, perfectly fine for me. And all I'm doing is going in and grabbing a little bit of that main shade and pulling it into the contour. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to blend my blush color. And for that, I'm going to use this brush. And I forgot what this brush is named. I don't remember. But this is the one that I use for my blush. And again, I am kind of like tapping and gently pulling that cheek color into the contour line and blending them together. So this would be the same effect as bronzer, you know, blush and bronzer. This is what I'm doing. And I like to carry it up into the temples and just continue to blend, tap, and blend that cheek color out. I can always go back in and intensify it if I want to. These colors are very pigmented, so you don't want to load your brush up. You just want to continue to tap and blend it out because trust me, I have made the mistake of putting on too much and thinking that I was okay in my mirror and then going into my big mirror and going outside and realizing that I looked like my toddler did my cheeks. So they're very pigmented. Very, very pigmented. I have a little bit of a scar right here. I had an acne scar and I should have covered that up before doing that, but I'm not going anywhere today, so it's okay. But it's really grabbing the pigment of that blush, and I'm gonna punch up this side just a little bit more. And so this is what I'm talking about. I love the versatility of this makeup. I love that I can make a light covering. I can do a more intense covering, shading, whatever you want to call it. I'm so out of practice with doing a makeup tutorial, but you guys get the idea. And right here, if I wanted to, I could literally stop right here. You don't have to set these with a powder, but I prefer to set it with a powder because I have combination skin and I like a glowy look, but I don't want to look greasy. I'm gonna do my eyes now. And they also carry eyeshadows. So this is my custom eyeshadow palette with all the colors that I like in there. You guys know I'm a neutrals girl. And these cases are magnetic. So when you first get your set, I'm going to show you the case that it's going to come in. It's going to come in this size case. And it's going to have your highlight shades. These are some other lip and cheeks that I have stored in here, but it would come with your highlight shade, your contour shade, your main shade, and then you would get 2 lip and cheeks. So this is the palette. These are the colors that I have chosen. As you can see, that's my favorite, and that's my favorite, and that's probably my second favorite. But I'm such a neutrals girl, so I stick to what works for me. And that is something that I am really embracing as I go into being in my 50s era. So when you find what works, you just stick with it and you do it over and over and over again. That's one of the reasons why I stopped doing makeup tutorials, because I'm never going to give you something new. It's going to be the same look every single time, regardless of the colors that I choose. It's going to be the same look every single time. So I didn't think that it made sense for me to continue to do makeup tutorials, although I can tell by the algorithm, y'all love those. So y'all let me know. Do you want to see more makeup tutorials from me, even though I don't deviate and it's probably going to be a neutral look and the lip color might change, the cheek color might change, but the eyeshadow is pretty much going to be the same. You let me know. But anyway, so what has changed? You see this? You see that? I know you see it. It's called a hooded eye. I knew we had it, but I said we're 50, right? So look how much lid space I have to work with. If I were doing my makeup the same way that I did when I was in my 30s, you wouldn't see anything. So now I'm going to show you how I do my makeup with a mature hooded eye, how I get it to not be so hooded. So I'm going to go in with what we would normally call our transition shade. And I'm just literally going to go on top of that hooded crease and above it so that it will open up my eye a little bit more. If I stayed where the little flap of skin is, you wouldn't see anything. So you have to go on it and above it in order to give the illusion of more lid space. So those of you who are like me and you know, we are approaching that big 50, this is what you do to mimic more eyelid space. And in all honesty, the older I've gotten, the less involved my makeup looks are. What do I mean by that? I mean, I already wasn't one for the bunch of colors, and I found some pictures, you guys, of back in the day when I would play with colors and different colors, and I don't know. It was cute for the time, but I don't know where I thought I was going with all of that. I would never wear those colors today, but there was a time and a place where I thought that was cute, and I guess it was cute for the time, but nowadays, if I'm being completely honest, My makeup is so simple. Half the time I don't even put on eyeshadow because I can't be bothered. Half of the time. I'm not messing around with eyeshadow. I put on eyeshadow if I am filming. I put on eyeshadow if I am going out for a date. It has to be a special occasion, but most of the time, I do my makeup. I hit my lashes with some mascara. I put on my lips and I'm out the door. I'm done because I don't feel like going through the process of the eyeshadow. There are other times where I might feel like, okay, the eyes need a little bit of something. Then I will quite literally do this, what you see right here. I will just put on a shade that gives me the illusion of shadow and clean it up and I'm done. I don't even bother with anything on the lid sometimes because I just don't feel like it. Less is more. Less is more. So if you notice, I'm not, we're not doing that. That's canceled. We're not doing that anymore. It's canceled for me. If you want to keep doing that, go ahead and do your thing, girl. I'm not, we listen and we don't judge. But for me, no more windshield wiper. No, because I want the color to actually show up. So if I'm doing this, we're wiping away the color. So I'm tapping and I'm moving back and forth while I'm tapping into the eye socket, okay? And I'm not coming out here because my eye socket, the bone stops right here. So I'm gonna stop there too. Right. Now, if it's depending on the type of look that you're doing, if you want to come outside here, you can. I wouldn't recommend though, because again, we're 50. So guess what happens when you come way out here? Yeah, you see them little lines? They're called crow's feet. Disrespectful little things. So if you coming all the way out here and then you're smiling up in people's pictures, what you think they're going to see in the camera? What you think is going to catch in the camera? And where do you think that shadow is going to settle? Right there, okay? We don't want. Now I'm going to come into this color. I think this is called Hot Chocolate. And I'm using my finger for this. And I'm just going to put it on my mobile lid. And I'm tapping it in there. Look at that. Tap, 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 tap. That's all that I'm doing. We're not swiping back and forth because this is the eyelid. And so the skin on your eyes is very sensitive. And if you are aging and maturing, guess what? It's lost a little bit of elasticity and collagen. So if we go in there pulling and tugging, we're only going to create more of those fine lines that we are not really appreciating at this stage of life. So you want to be gentle in this area. Look how pretty that looks. That is so pretty. Now, do we go back in and clean things up a little bit? Yeah, you can. Just kind of just like, you know. And you don't really have to, because why? That beautiful little fold is going to hide it anyway. So you don't have to be precise right here. You just want to make it look neat and intentional. You know, you could come in this way on the corner if you wanted to give it that smoky look. And you guys, this is literally two shadows. Two shadows. Look at that. Look at that. So now we look like we have more eyelid, but really we don't. And we're just nice and clean. So for me, this would be an everyday running errands, maybe going out to lunch with a girlfriend. And so then I'm going to come back in with my smudge brush that still has quite a bit of makeup on it. I'm not adding any more. And I'm just going to gently clean up that outer corner. And that's why I didn't set anything yet, because I knew that I wanted to come back in and clean up the edges and just make it a little bit more crisp in that area. And we're done with the eyeshadow. Wing liner. No, we don't wing liner anything anymore. We don't do that anymore. Why? Because again, I'm getting the little baby crow's feet and they disappear into the crow's feet. I'm not about to bring it all the way out here because no, that's just not my style. What I am going to do is I'm going to underline at my lashes, and you want to use a creamy liner. If you can find a creamy liner that is preferably waterproof, if you care, just to kind of thicken up the base of your lashes. I'm not even bringing it on top like I used to because I don't got time for that. I'm trying to get out of the door, so I'm not going to do all of that. But I do want to thicken up my lashes a little bit. Are we coming down below with this? Absolutely not. That's a negative. No, we are not. If I wanted to, I might run a little bit of eyeshadow up under there, but I'm not even doing that because I don't feel like having powder in my eyes. I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do that. Now, before I put on my mascara, I am going to set everything. Do I go in with my bronzer? If it was summertime, yes, but it's not summertime. I don't feel like being a bronze goddess right now, so I'm not going to use my bronzer. So what I do before I set all of this is I spray with my makeup setting spray. This is the Milani Make It Last Original. It's $15.99. I think y'all saw this in a haul that I did. And I am literally going to drench my skin in this setting spray. So what I have learned is that we've been doing it wrong. The little and I'm done. We was doing it wrong, y'all. This is how you're supposed to do it. Okay. You see how my face is wet? Do you see that? Do you also see how it kind of brought out my makeup? Now we are going to let it dry down a little bit. Okay. We're trying not to move. So normally I wouldn't be talking during this stage. I would kind of keep my face really still. But we're going to let it dry to like almost dry, but not quite dry. And you'll know because you'll feel the liquid drying down and it'll feel slightly cooler on your skin. Okay. For those of you with oily skin or dry skin, you could literally, not oily skin, dry skin, you could just stop right here and go on about your business. For those of us with combination skin, you're going to need your powder. So I'm using the Fenty loose powder. And I'm in the color Nutmeg, and I'm using about that much. Then y'all forgive me, okay? We don't judge because I do be using my stuff. But my powder puff, I only used it one time. So it looks dirty, but it's not that dirty, okay? And it just goes on my face. But you're going to come in with your, who is this by? Beauty Blender. I love this thing. If you have the triangle one, that one works too. You come in with your powder puff. You're going to just kind of buff it on the back of your hand so we don't get like big powder marks. Samantha taught me this. Tamara, why are you puffing out your face? So it doesn't settle into my laugh lines, you guys. And I'm going to come on the areas. So I like to press up where I know the oil is going to come through. I kind of press a little bit harder. This is how I set my makeup. We're no longer coming up all the way up under here. No, 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 no. We're coming on the side. And I'll come like maybe right here with whatever's left over. But we're not going up under there. Why? You see that crease. You see it, right? You see it. Okay. I don't want anything settling in there. You can already see that I have a crease there. I don't want to make it more pronounced by putting powder in there. So look, there's literally not much left. If I wanted more, I would just do this, and this is where it's going. Because my nose gets the oiliest. My nose, then my forehead, and a little bit of my chin, and I like to come up under here. Notice that I didn't really touch the blush. And I prefer not to touch the blush because of the simple fact that I want the color to show through. So if I was really feeling like I don't want this blush to go anywhere, I would come up on top of it with one of these that's complimentary. I know this is very old school, and oh my gosh, Tamara, you still have the Veronica blush from MAC. Yes, vintage. Spray it down with alcohol. It'll last forever. This one was from, I forget, the Heat Wave. I think it was called Heat Wave collection. And this is called Hot Nights. And that's what it looks like. So if I really wanted it to last, I would just come on top of it with one of these colors. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm literally going downstairs in my living room after this. So I don't have to do all of that. Again, there's still some on my brush. So if I felt like I needed to punch up something, I would. But as you can see, the blush is blushing. Okay, so now all that's left to do is I am going to put a little bit of powder right here because I do tend to produce a little bit of oil right around the hairline. Now I'm going to do my lips. And so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use my contour shade, the same one that I put right here. I'm going to use my lip brush. And I'm just going to load that up just a little bit. And we're going to line the lip. Notice I'm not going all the way in the corner. We don't do that no more either. I will come up here for a more pouty look. But can I be honest? Us melanated people, we already have full lips, so we don't need to do all of that. I just do it for fun. Because what I've noticed is, even if I did put it in the corners, my lips still going to be plump and juicy. Why? Because I got some. Okay, so sometimes the techniques that you see being done in videos, not everything applies to you, okay? Chew the meat and spit out the bones. All right, so lip is lined, and you're like, where, Tamara? I don't see anything. That's the point. That's the point, okay? For me, that's how I like it. We're friends, right? So we listen and we don't judge, okay? I don't prefer that lipstick look with the super dark brown liner and the almost not there lip color. Like, It's just not my thing. So we're going to come back with Huckleberry. Ooh, that's nice. That is nice. Look at that. Okay. And one thing about these lip and cheek cream makeup, when I say it's pigmented, I really mean They're all, not just the lip and cheeks, even the skin tone colors. It is highly, highly, highly pigmented. And that's why you don't have to dig your brush into them, because a little truly does go a long way. You saw that today. I didn't put a lot on my face. I did not use a lot of makeup, but the way this brush is designed, this one is the full coverage brush. If I wanted a lighter coverage, I could use the one that I used for my blush, or I could use this brush and just lightly apply makeup. So I get to customize the coverage that I want. I get to customize my colors. I get to customize my lip and cheeks. And so it's kind of like Burger King. I can have it my way. I can have whatever I like because it's my palette. I know all the colors are specifically matched to my skin tone, my undertone, my overtone, my every tone. Like you cannot mess it up. Is there a learning curve? Sure. I had to figure out how to apply this new makeup in this new system that is not like traditional makeup. I had to learn the contours of my face. I had to learn. But the great thing about it is I had Samantha teaching me every step of the way. So one of the great things about Seint Beauty is when you sign up and you decide to get color matched, she doesn't just sell you the product and leave you in the wind. She has free 99 makeup classes where you can go on a Zoom call with her live and she can tell you what you're doing wrong. She can walk you through the steps, and you sit there and you have a makeup class and you learn how to put this makeup on. You learn other beauty tips and tricks that I've learned just from going to class with Samantha. You learn how to bring out your natural beauty. You learn how to be more confident in the way that you present yourself to the world. And listen, even for someone seasoned like me, in that I went to school, I was an esthetician. I learned how to do makeup. I was a makeup beauty guru, on YouTube for several years and was very good at doing my own makeup. But I still had to unlearn some things, and I had to learn some new things, and I had to learn how to allow my makeup to evolve with me over time and let go of certain fads and certain trends that I was following because they no longer serve me. That's the beauty of getting older, though. That's the beauty of makeup, in that it's so versatile. You can literally make it be what you want it and need it to be, and you still walk out of your house feeling glamorous. You still feel like I'm put together. You still feel confident and just beautiful. And do I need makeup in order to feel confident? I don't. But if that is your testimony and you feel like you need that in order to give you that boost, there's nothing wrong with that either. But knowing how to apply the makeup for your face is key. Just because it works on me and the technique worked for me doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. You have to learn your own face, learn your style. That's part of aging and aging gracefully, is that you eventually figure out what works for you and what doesn't. So for me, I like neutral eyeshadows. Could I wear color? Yes. Do I get jiggy with it every now and then? Yes, I will splash a cranberry on. I will splash a green, depending on what my outfit is and the mood that I'm in. But for the most part, it's going to be this every time. I'm using the Telescopic. This is the Carbon Black Telescopic. And I don't know if I like this one. I think I prefer the original Telescopic. I don't know that I like the Carbon Black one, but the original one never disappoints. And that's it, you guys. That is my makeup look for the day. That I'm not going anywhere, but I just wanted to come on here and give you something to look at. And so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. All the products that I have used will be listed in the description box below. I will put the link to Samantha in case you are interested in getting color matched for Seint Beauty. Again, it is a cream-based makeup system that is customized to your skin tone. So your palette is not going to look like my palette. Your colors will be completely different because she's going to customize them to your skin tone. I will leave her information down in the description box. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up in the description box below. And you know what I'm going to tell you? Stay sweet, stay beautiful, and remember that you are loved. I love you, and God loves you more. Bye-bye.